On tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we've got some details about the massive Xbox showcase coming up in June. There's some controversy and fallout about some early Redfall footage. Oh my God. We've got all the Xbox Gamepass games coming in April. We've got the EA Sports FC reveal. And, of course, more on the Activision Microsoft Blizzard deal, of course, because every week, but there's some juicy stuff about that. So let's roll the titles, get on with the show. Yes, yokoso. What's up, people? Arigato gozaimasu. Welcome to the one, the only Xbox Monday Night Chat podcast. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I hope you are enjoying your Easter break. If you're having an Easter break here over in Blighty, it is indeed a bank holiday. So we have 4 days. Yeah, we have the Friday, Good Friday, a weekend, and a bank holiday Monday, of which it is today. So yes, of course it is, because it's the Monday night show. Yes. So I hope you are enjoying that if you're in the Blighty. Do you have the Monday off in other countries? I'm not sure. But we certainly have it off here, and I'm off for the rest of the week as well. Yay! So I shall be busy making many videos, ladies and gentlemen, and just chilling. So I hope you had a chill weekend. And as ever, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what games you've been playing. I'm always interested in what's playing. I can see some people there in the chat already playing some big games, some massive games, some epic games. And we've got a big game coming up. It's the sort of featured game that I mentioned in the YouTube listing. We've got that coming up, and we've got an announcement of when it rolls out across the world as well. So we'll be delving into that, ladies and gentlemen. So all good. As ever, though, please hit the likes. Please. Because I like it, yeah? And YouTube likes it, and it helps wonderful people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, arigato gozaimasu, do me the great honor of hitting that hitting that subscribe button there. Doko describe deska. Subscribe or doko deska. Down there, hit that down there if you would be so good. I'd appreciate that. Toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content like this, of course, ladies and gentlemen. And as ever, let us dive head first into the lovely, sweet, delightful audience who are here already. Let's say hello to them. Sednar is in the house. Good evening, Sednar. Finished Resident Evil Village RE8. Yes. Did you enjoy it? I certainly did. It's a great game. When's all the extra DLC coming? I don't suppose I've got it because it was on Stadia and everything. But I'm going to start Witcher 3. So I've been playing Witcher 3. Why am I not playing that anymore? But I'm enjoying that. Yes, there's just so much to it. But it looks great, especially with all the new sort of upgraded enhancements on it and stuff like that. Yeah, Caseball says Witcher 3 can take over 250 hours. I can believe it. Is that if you're a completionist? Yeah, if you want to complete it, everything. I just want to get through the story, mate. Kirk is playing Ben 10. Wow. Enjoying the RPG, even if it is a Cartoon Network game. No, that's fine. Oh, no, said nah. Not at work. Ooh. Yeah, 250 hours. It's the same for the holidays, Kirk. Excellent. Good to hear it. Yep, including both the DLCs. Literally, some people play for 20 hours and have only completed 1%. Oh, my God. That's crazy. That is crazy. RE Village was amazing. It is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So there's a big showcase coming up in June. We've talked about it before on this show. And there's some details here. So the showcase is going to be split into two aspects. Yeah, the Xbox Games Showcase on June the 11th. You're going to have the sort of, well, basically split into Starfield in one showcase, and then everything else. 30 minutes for Starfield. Anyway, that's what they're saying. Let's have a quick look at this. There we go. So here we go. So according to Tom Warren, who's quoting Walking Cat here, the Xbox Games Showcase and Starfield Direct, which is the big game, really. This is the big game. I mean, there's some big games coming up, Redfall arguably and stuff like that. But this is it the make or break game this year for Xbox? It's a big thing anyway. It's going to be around 2 hours in total, the showcase. Probably 90 minutes for the main show, 30 minutes for Starfield. And the details are here. It's starting on June the 11th, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Pacific time, ladies and gentlemen. 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Pacific time. So there we go. Update on the Xbox showcase. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Paul is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Always good to see you, Paul. Late, Internet of Games. Yes, it's been noted. Yeah, it's been noted. UK Village's quality streamed around 5 PC on the Village today makes the game run so much better playing the Resident Evil 2 remake. He's got the thing now for the Resident Evils. He's got the thing. Right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the showcase. Now, I talked about Starfield there being sort of make or break. I'm not sure it's that dramatic maybe, but it's quite an important game. All eyes are going to be on Starfield. And part of it is because some of the other big games that are coming, perhaps, for Microsoft or for Xbox, maybe aren't sort of quite living up to the hype. And the next big one along, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is Redfall. And there was some earlier footage of gameplay on IGN, on part of their IGN first, and it got a lot of bad press in terms of the quality of the gameplay, what people were seeing and stuff like that. Just take my desktop is off. Let's just play this here. So this is the co-op side of it, but there was a lot of sort of controversy about how it not looking finished, but also about the nature of the gameplay itself. So not so much necessarily the gameplay, but the criticism around the player, and how, if the player is not very good, it doesn't showcase the game very well. But, equally one could argue, we're not all amazing gamers. So maybe this is a reflection of what the average gamer will kind of experience. But anyway, a lot of controversy around it, about it, it's looking a bit static, the environments and all that. But I mean, is it blowing me away? No. Does it look like any other kind of FPS game? Yeah, I mean, maybe a bit stiff in some of the way the character runs a bit there. But yeah, there's been obviously a lot around. Look, this is a big game for Xbox. It's part of their first party titles and all of that, and it's going to be on Game Pass. Yeah, but I guess what do you expect? As long as it's an FPS first player, so it was hard to sort of see whether the criticism was about the actual gameplay and the look of the game, or about the guy playing the game not being a good gamer. And who's to judge that? Certainly not me. Looks fine to me. You know, people saying, why are you not rezzing your mates? Why are you shooting the guy from a foot away when you should, you know, be skulking back or whatever, and all this kind of, you know, stuff. As I say, we're not all gaming experts, but the big complaint seemed to be that it didn't really showcase the game in the best light, and or the game itself wasn't looking particularly amazing for what is meant to be an important game in the Xbox catalog, as it were, in terms of Xbox Gamepass games. So this is the gaming co-op mode anyway. But let me know what you think from what you've seen. Have you seen the footage? Have you seen the comments? Have you read some of the criticism about the game? I'll be interested to know. Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see what it's like, especially the co-op side of things. What's he doing there? But there we go. So there seemed to be, as I say, a lot of controversy around this. They go on to say here, this is on pure Xbox here. Upcoming Xbox FPS Redfall is part of the IGN first for the month of April, and that means some of the team at the gaming and entertainment outlet have now played Arcane's shooter firsthand. And over the weekend, that has resulted in a proper look at some authentic Redfall co-op gameplay. We say authentic because while any footage from Bethesda and co is much appreciated, clips like the one above show you a closer representation of how the game will actually play when fans get their hands onto it. So, you know, there is an argument it's better to see someone playing it badly than the sort of superbly polished PR and marketing clips that the gaming and publisher companies hand out. I don't know. While certain YouTube comments are quick to point out the rather haphazard approach to gameplay presented by IGN here, we'd rather much see this than even more super polished PR footage. We've seen lots of that for Redfall so far. It's now great to see some less polished gameplay. To us, this is pure Xbox, Redfall looks like it has the potential to be much more chaotic than we first imagined. Again, this is just one approach to playing Arcane's new title, and we've been reassured plenty that the game will play well in single player. Just take note that things may become a lot more action orientated in online co-op. And of course, it's coming. Redfall is coming to Game Pass on May the 2nd, 2023. Have you, is this the first time you've seen the footage I've just shown you here? Or have you read some of the controversy around it and stuff like that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know to chat, see what you guys have been sort of saying. I've heard suggesting the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty official launch date presentation will occur at the Xbox Showcase. Interesting. Starfield, Kirk says Starfield has really not got an Xbox. Yes, 100% going to be Game of the Year or another Cyberpunk work in progress. Could be, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, oddly, if it's sort of somewhere in between. I'm looking forward to it in a kind of weird way. I kind of wasn't when it was first announced, but the more I see of it, the more I think, oh, it's got potential. I'm looking for like a sort of Sea of Thieves thing where you just, you know, you can, in a world, you can travel around and do your own thing, but also you've got to be mindful of other people, other players in that universe. You know what I mean? That video looks bad. Characters halfway through, indestructible assets, etc. Yeah. Getting my Series X next week after finishing some renovations that have taken a year. 75-inch 4K TV arriving also next year. Oh, my Lord. And next week have Game Pass Ultimate purchase for next 3 years, lol. Did you get it on a special offer? 3 years. Ashes to ashes in the house. Hello. Good to see you. Caseball, just on the Starfield now. Heads up, Clive. Starfield is the most expensive game to have been developed, even beating Red Dead Redemption's $200 million. It's massive. They better hope it sells well. Absolutely. Right, we'll come back to the chat, the rest of the chat a little later. Just wanted to get some feedback on all of that, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting stuff. Right. Look at my wall of news, ladies and gentlemen. Next up. So, I'm excited for this. Ghostwire Tokyo is coming tomorrow. And I have the launch dates around the world, ladies and gentlemen. I shall be sharing them with you. But this, April the 12th, today is the 11th. It's coming on April the 12th. Footage captured on PC. By all accounts, looking forward to playing this. It's going to be on Game Pass, of course. So very exciting. A good get for Game Pass overall. Right. What about, ladies and gentlemen, the launch times? So here we go. For us here in Blighty, that's where we're going to start because it is the center of the universe. That's a fact. It's official. Yeah. Greenwich Mean Time was invented in the UK, basically. Yeah. As Al Murray, pub landlord, used to say, we tell you what time to get up. Yeah, basically. GMT. I'm joking, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Xbox launch 12 a.m. on the 4th of the 12th. Now, I always get confused, 12 a.m. Is that lunchtime? Or is that 12 p.m.? 11 p.m., 12 p.m.? No, that 12 p.m. is midnight. So it's 12 a.m. is lunchtime, isn't it? That makes sense because it's launching here over in your LA land. Well, it's further down there, but you know what I mean? Pacific daytime, 5 p.m. Is it launching earlier there? I'm getting my 12 a.m. is midnight. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I'll get my PM and it is midnight. Thank you for that. Okay. Great. Bang. Boom. Maybe I'll start playing it at midnight. I've got no work. This week. I've got to play at midnight. I don't have to go to bed. 12 p.m. is lunchtime. 12 p.m., 1 p.m. That makes sense. Duh. Thank you. Oh, lovely to see everybody in chat. Please make sure you dive into the chat, join in, say something, say hello. It's always great. There we go. Thank you. That makes sense to me. So, 2 a.m. in Europe, 5 p.m. West Coast, 8 p.m. East Coast, and if you're out over Japan, 9 a.m. in the morning. And everything in between, ladies and gentlemen. So those are the times for Ghostwire Tokyo Xbox release times. So now you know. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Right, ladies and gentlemen. So, talking to Game Pass, let's just check out the games that are coming over the next week or so. Some good games this week, around here. So, the first wave of free games coming to Game Pass in April across consoles, PC, and, of course, cloud gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to hit the likes. I only see 9 likes, ladies and gentlemen. There's 20 people in the audience. Don't forget. Come on. Let's get going. Let me see those likes. Show me those likes. The month release Loop Hero on console and PC. Iron Brigade. Was I asleep? I know I've been busy this week, but did I miss that? Loop Hero and Iron Brigade are already on there, Game Pass. But, of course, the first big one, as we've just discussed, Ghostwire Tokyo on cloud, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to be able to play it on cloud, console and PC. A game where you need to fight against all the paranormal entities overrunning Tokyo. using martial arts and supernatural powers. From Tango Gameworks, set up by legendary Resident Evil and Dino Crisis director Shinji Mikami. April the 12th. As we now know, midnight. April the 12th in the UK. Also, hockey fans, rejoice. The following day, you get an NHL 2023. One for the Canadians out there, you Canadians. Let me know. NHL 2023 for console. That is for console. The EA Sports Hockey Series adds women's team to the Ultimate Team mode. As an EA game, and we're going to be coming to EA games in a minute. It'll be available through EA Play through Game Pass PC and Ultimate. And of course, another biggie, the end of next week sees Minecraft Legends on cloud, console, and PC. Drops on the April the 18th. I've heard some good things about Minecraft Legends. I saw an early review. It's a day-and-date release. Of course, it's a third-person action strategy taking on the world-conquering game of Minecraft in a kind of story mode, ladies and gentlemen. But, of course, as they say here, Game Pass giveth and Game Pass taketh away. And Life is Strange True Colors. Oh, I never finished it. Is leaving cloud, console, and PC. Moonglow Bay, Panzer Corps, Rainbow Six Extraction. Leaving? The Dungeon of Nahulbuke and The Long Dark and Riftbreaker are all leaving, but you can buy them for 20% off, ladies and gentlemen, of course, as is the way on Xbox. Let's catch up with chat before we go to the next news story. Sounds like we're getting rickets this summer, Paul. What, some sitting down playing. Looks good to me, but then I don't play FPS games. I do, and it looked okay to me. Was it like... No, but it looked okay. I've also watched some gameplay from people that play games well, and it looks fun. Ashes, that's what I'm saying. It looks okay to me. And when you're in the game, you have a slightly different perspective from when you're watching gameplay footage. I think your sort of your vision, your peripheral vision, is slightly different because you're like, you're focusing on different aspects. So as long as that aspect looks, the aspects you're focusing on look really cool, then that's cool. Looks if they really want to see it played badly, they could have called me. Yeah, hello, we need somebody to showcase the game, but in a really bad way. Yep. Okay, that's great. We'll send a copy of Cyberpunk over now. Yep. I wonder if Redfall complainers are jealous. PS. Well, as ever in this sort of the silly kind of toxic wars of consoles, those on the extreme fringes of Xbox and Sony, that those extremist ponies were jumping on with glee. That this so-called big game was apparently rubbish. Looking rubbish. Yeah, I get fed up with being just shown cinematics. Good to see gameplay. Agree, Neil. Agree. Hey, Zero Games for me. How are you? Good to see you, sir. Matt, Paul is ready. He's got the Xbox Series X. He's got the 75-inch. Did you mention what brand it was? No. Paul, we need to know what brand it is before we really, get green with envy. Yeah, it could be some Chinese brand I've never heard of. Not to say that's a bad TV, but, because they could be using LG and Samsung. They could be the factory that makes the TVs for LG and Samsung and Sony. Right, midnight confirmed. Rabbi Henriksen, how are you? Good to see you, bro. 3 years of Game Pass Ultimate by converting good deal on 3 years Xbox Live Gold on one-to-one basis to Ultimate. That's good work. See, they've you know, they've turned off the old £1 offer that they used to have. £1 fish, £1 fish. Rabbi, hey, you're good. We got there. Don't worry. We do it in chunks, Rabbi. We get to you. Yeah, we get to you. Jerry's in the house. Woo! Go, Jerry. Good to see you, sir. Say hello, me, stream chat. There we are. Rabbi, we've done it. We've done it, man. You're good. Game Pass is such an incredible deal. It is. And I think this is the year. It's always been a good deal. I think it's always been a good deal. But I think this is the year we start to really get, you know, when you're getting, you know, Ghostwire Tokyo, Redfall, Starfield, arguably Minecraft Legends. Yeah, it's looking good to see. Bank holiday crowd in. I wish it was bank holiday. Yeah, I don't want to say where was everybody on Thursday? It was just me, a couple of old ladies in a couple of old folk in a deck chair and an ice cream and a dog sniffing around watching the show. Terrible it was. Woo. Never mind, we do it. Woo. Library this year is really going to start to blossom. Absolutely. Yeah. Canadians bleed hockey. That's what I thought. You're going to be at the door. But can I make EA NHL? Have you played any of the previous EA's NHL games? I don't think I've ever seen. Look, I tell you what we're going to do for the Canadians out there. Right? This is for you, and also because I'm curious. They use the same graphics as in terms of the typeface in the advertising and the marketing as EA in FIFA. So this is not just for the Canadians. This is my own curiosity because I want to see what the game looks like. But also, of course, as for those late turning up, yeah, it's coming to Game Pass via EA Play. Presumably it sort of plays as per FIFA in a way. Or because obviously Madison is all about the set plays and sort of deciding and positioning ready for the set plays. Whereas I get the impression that, you know, obviously with FIFA, and I also get the impression with this, it's more free, the game's more free flowing. So I wonder if it plays in a similar way. Let me know if you know. But there we are. There's a little treat for our Canadian fans. Coming to Game Pass, of course, via EA Play, that is, just so you know. Right, those in the chat haven't got to. Do not worry. We will get there, ladies and gentlemen. We will get there. We are getting there. We're going to crack on with some more news, ladies and gentlemen. So we've talked about this before. And by now, if my calculation's right, what date is it today? 10th. Right, we keep getting told this piece of information, or rumoured that's coming up, which means that it literally is on the verge of happening. Not literally. I was talking to somebody today about what literally meant. Figuratively. Although, actually, if it happens, it is literally. It is literally on the verge of happening. Yeah, it's actually going to happen. It's literally on the verge of happening. So, actually, literally, in this context, perfectly right. What am I rambling on about? Ubisoft Plus is imminent, ladies and gentlemen, right? Apparently. So, according to Jez Corden, Ubisoft Plus on Xbox is likely imminent, right? That was on the 6th. The 6th of April. It is now the 10th. Do we think... Sorry, I've got... Oh, anyway, let's go back to... I don't see my own Twitter thing there. Do we think once these holes are out the way, could be this week? Could there be an announcement this week? Could it be this week if it's imminent? If it was imminent last week, I mean, define imminent, you know. An asteroid colliding with Earth is imminent in the scale of the universe. Yeah. It's all relative, I guess. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So that was the original story. So the original story was back in the 27th of March. It looks like a date has been penciled at Ubisoft launches for, so this was the leak. This was based on a leak. Mid-April. So maybe next week. This will be a test. Remind me, those that take notes during the show, because it is a lecture. Welcome to my TED lecture. Please pay attention, take notes. Let's review this next week. And then we'll know whether Script Leaks R6 is a reliable leaker. Yeah? Or is he just making stuff up? But the fact that Jez is believing him means that the guy has some sort of track record. A guy, person, girl, I don't know. So mid-April. So we need to check back, ladies and gentlemen, I think. We'll check back next week to see where they're at on that. Because I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, I seem to remember. Come on, Ubisoft. Come on, Ubisoft. Right, just quickly. Now, this has been out for a while, but look, FIFA fans, or not FIFA, as the case may be, this is the branding. And now, so, look, this is not brand new. I saw it originally, and I think it was PlayStation promoting it. Well, this is the Xbox promotion of EA Sports FC, which, of course, is the new FIFA. It's basically FIFA without the title FIFA. Remember, EA and FIFA could not come to terms, and so FIFA 23 was the last EA FIFA game. And FIFA was just asking for a ridiculous amount of money. EA, already pays an incredible amount of money for the FIFA franchise, and it was up for renewal. And FIFA basically said, right, pay us even more, some crazy amount. And EA went, no. And actually, we built up, we've developed the game, we've built up the game. We're not actually sure we need the FIFA branding. So it's going to be an interesting. Normally it comes about the September the 30th, 1st of October. Normally is when FIFA launches historically. So presumably EA Sports FC launches around the time. It'll be interesting to see what they do about the licenses. They can still get the licenses via. So you're going to have to get the name licenses for the players. To get the team licenses from the teams, the league licenses. So they can still do those deals. They just have to do a lot of deals, I think. Otherwise, you're going to end up like what was it, Pro Evo 11, as it were. Pro Evo Sports with Merseyside City versus Merseyside Reds instead of Liverpool and Everton and all that kind of stuff. Made up crazy names. But there we go. Do they need FIFA name attached? It's going to be the same game. It's basically FIFA, and FIFA has built the game itself. FIFA the game. So EA's game has built up such a massive, massive following. Are they really going to lose out? They're still going to have, Messi or Mbappe on the front of the box. I mean, Mbappe's been on the front at least 2 years running. What is the betting? Mbappe is on the front again. Yeah, it does I've seen some in the chat there, some people questioning the FC bit. Does it, it doesn't read that clearly. They've gone for that kind of triangle thing going on here, but then they're sort of squished in the FC. Interesting. But I just thought I'd share that with you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Let me know what you think, of course, as ever, in the chat. So let's see what you guys are saying here. Wolf of Darkness, hello. Lovely to see you, sir. Two-Bag 313, evening. It's a Samsung. Ooh, great. So that's good. Well done. Acceptable. Paul. Presumably it's a Samsung, a 2022 Samsung. So that means you have the Samsung Gaming Hub on board, which is going to be even better. I've not experienced the Samsung Gaming Hub, but I do have the benefit of the LG and some of their gaming apps and their Chef's Kiss. They're really, really good. So by all accounts, the Samsung Gaming Hub, from what I've heard, is just as good and it's meant to be really good. So there we go. Steve Dix has entered the chat. Even Steven has entered the chat. Now, is that Even Stevens? As in, like, it's equal, Even Stevens, or is that Even Steven has entered the chat? Or is it both? Thursday was a great show. Those slouches with lives could catch up immediately after the show. Oh, if only, thank you, Internet of Games. If only. The show is best from an audience perspective, in terms of numbers, it's best consigned to the bin of where the hell was everybody. Yeah, it sent me into a downward spiral of self-doubt. No, it didn't. How long, Suarez, lovely to see you, sir, how long do we reckon before ChatGPT finds it into entry games? In terms of AI, and the sort of element of ChatGPT, not long. There is a game that is in sort of beta form, and I have applied for access to it. I haven't got it yet, but it uses artificial intelligence for the characters to respond. And so now I remember Stadia or Google/Stadia showcasing similar technology about 2.5, 3 years ago. And it was, you interrogated, it was like a mini detective story, and you asked questions, like you ask questions of ChatGPT, yeah? You ask questions of the character. So there was a murder, and you go to the chef character, and they're just like 2D flat characters. But you go to the chef character and say, where were you on the Wednesday at 10 p.m.? And then the chef character responds, whatever. And then you, like a detective, you have to work out from their responses. You know, you go to the maid, ask her where they were. But, you know, it used AI for them to respond to you in a certain way. So there weren't preset responses. It was sort of AI. The AI characters responded based on what they'd been taught to respond. But it wasn't like in conventional gaming where the text is preset. Yeah, so that definitely is going to come into games, I think, where the NPCs have their own sort of restricted artificial intelligence and can respond to you and in what they say and stuff like that. So in that regard, I think we'll see elements of things similar to ChatGPT. I'll try and find that video. I had it years ago of the Google version of it. But obviously things have come along significantly in the last 3 years, tech-wise. I wouldn't come to terms with FIFA on principle. Good for EA, exactly. I mean, I think, I forget something, it's like they almost doubled what they were asking for, like ridiculous amount. And FIFA are notoriously greedy. That's rich coming from EA. Yeah, you know, but they are. And I think actually there comes a point where, yeah, if you take a bird's eye view, take a step back, if you're EA and you go, wait a minute, I think the game is bigger than the brand. The loyalty around the brand, the loyalty around the game has built up quite significantly over the 15 years or however many they've been doing it. So, yeah, you could see why EA might go, actually, we don't need you, FIFA. Yeah, we do need the clubs and we need the licenses and stuff like that, but we don't need the FIFA branding. So, do one, mate. Yeah? They're still going to have all the foot points and all that kind of stuff and the cards, and you'll be going to go, oh, is it a legendary? Have I got a legendary? And you can have people on YouTube spending, $1,000 on, FUT points, whatever, and then unveiling the players and going, oh, is it a legendary one? Have I got, oh my God. And just YouTube videos of that. I was saying to my son who watches a lot, I said, it's amazing how, a lot of FIFA streamers, they're not even playing the game. Or if they do play the game, you get like 5 minutes of it. The rest of it is them organising packs or trying to build up squads. There's a whole added dimension for those who aren't into FIFA around the squad building and squad creation and doing the challenges to build squads that, all meet a certain criteria or whatever, and getting points and stuff like that, and not actually playing the game. I mean, you have to play a game with the squad to kind of get the points, but that almost becomes not the focus. The focus becomes unpacking, the cards. It's incredible. The EAFC looks like a G. Get the art department on the phone. Exactly. Crows in the house. Crows in the house. Well, this was the idea, is that at the time when they announced that EA and FIFA were parting ways, way back, I think it was last year sometime, EA said, don't worry, we're going to be doing our own thing. Yeah, which is, of course, EA Sports FC. We're just going to be rebranding. We're going to call it EA Sports FC. It'll be the same game and all of that, just won't be FIFA branded. And FIFA, of course, said, oh, well, yeah, we'll be, there'll be a FIFA game next year. There'll be a FIFA game next year. That's what they said. Not seeing it. Not seeing any announcements of it. And how are they going to, who's going to do it in time? That was the thing. If you walk away like a year ago, they walked away, unless somebody's got an amazing footy engine ready to go, right? That's one. You've got to have an amazing sports engine that's ready to go. Bear in mind, you have to do this in a year, just over a year. So you need that existing sports engine, ideally a soccer/football engine to do it. You need to stump up the cash to FIFA. So you've got to be a massive, massive publisher to be able to do that. Who? So unless FIFA are prepared to take a massive pay cut in order to get that done, then why didn't they stick with what they had with EA in the first place? Because who could they go with? They go with like Konami. Konami can't afford the FIFA brand. Even if they got the Pro Evo engine and just thought, brilliant, we'll stick FIFA brand on that. Yeah, on That's Football. Yeah, instead of calling it That's Football, we'll call it FIFA. They don't have the money to do that. Who else could do it? Rockstar? Take-Two, I mean? Probably haven't got time because they don't have a soccer engine. Sony? Stump up the cash for Konami? But then why? They're going to get the EA Sports games sell bucket loads on Sony. So what's the point? So I think FIFA have kind of shot themselves in the foot because they ain't getting a game out this year, I'm sure. If they are, I'll be very, very surprised because somebody would have to turn that game around super quick. And without the engine and without the money to stump up the cash for the brand, the IP, you're buggered. Let me know what you think, of course, in the chat. Good conversation, people. Wolf of Darkness there. Yeah, exactly. Don't know who can afford it, Internet of Games, exactly. I think it was the previous Thursday it was all quiet. Last Thursday was okay. Neil, I was there, Neil. The Thursday just gone. Terrible it was. Terrible. I appreciate you for being there. I can count you on the palms of one hand. Words have been had. Just let's just say, ladies and gentlemen. We think we know where the issue is or was. Presumably Microsoft, given the cash they're willing to throw at ABK. Yeah. But again, it's a bit like the issue's it's a bit like Call of Duty. It makes no sense to make it exclusive. Yeah, it's an existing game or an existing brand, although okay, it's an existing FIFA as an IP is an existing IP that sells bucket loads, probably significantly more on PlayStation than it does on Xbox. So it's the same scenario of Call of Duty. It makes no sense to make it exclusive, and therefore to a certain degree it doesn't make any sense for Microsoft to get it, especially they're throwing all their money at ABK. Is that what we're calling it now? ABK. But that would save me a lot in Twitter characters, yeah, because put in when I say in this week's show we'll be looking at the Activision Blizzard deal, ABK, better. Yeah, I like that. One issue with generative pre-trained model is that they all hallucinate their responses. So although variants will come, a computer game by its very nature has to be incredibly tightly constrained. Yeah, there has to be. I think you have to train it to be a certain character. Yeah. And you kind of get that with Chat GPT because you say, I want you to be in simple forms anyway, I want you to be an expert in, and then you tell it what you wanted to be an expert in, and then you say, right, now write me a whatever, and then it does it. And I've had I was working on a novel idea. I've told you, I was writing a novel idea, and I wanted some feedback. I wanted to do some research. I wanted it to understand, to help me with some of the character development, the kind of the plot flow, the key beats of the story, and all of that. And so I was asking it, are you aware of this book about novels? Are you aware of the book Story by Robert McKee, which is the sort of the Bible of writing Hollywood movies, 3-act plays, 3-act movies. Most of Hollywood, you go to, film school in Hollywood, whatever, all study Robert McKee Story, right? So I go to Chat GPT. I said, are you aware of Robert McKee Story, the book Story? Yes, I am. Can you outline to me the principles of Robert McKee's story? Yes, the principles are he goes out to the 3-act play, the plots, the blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, applying those principles to this storyline, present to me a 12-beat breakdown of the story. Okay, here you go. And it does it. It's amazing. So, yeah, if you train it, you say you are a character in a story or in a game. These are your constraints. This is your motivation, blah, blah, blah. Then a sophisticated GPT should be able to have a life of its own. But I'll try and dig out the thing that Google did with this to sort of demonstrate this. And bearing in mind this is 3 years ago, and a month in the time of Chat GPT is a massive amount of times. The amount of change that we've seen from Chat GPT 3.5 to Chat GPT 4, Google Bard's Google's very restrained early offerings. They're going to let, somebody said to me, why is Google Bard doesn't seem as good? And I was trying to explain to them, I think the general consensus is because Google has put the brakes on lots of it, constraints. So it's like, in a moment, it's sort of in a straitjacket. It can't really, they're scared of unleashing the true power of Google Bard until it's been tested. Purple is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, let's go. Good to see you, Purple. Everybody happy. Right. FIFA should have used ChatGPT to negotiate with EA. Good call. Good call. Yeah, they should. It's amazing how I've genuinely been using, even on a small scale, it's changing productivity big time. That and Midjourney. I've been using Midjourney to come up with images instead of going to like a stock library. Like normally, if you need a photograph or an image to demonstrate a point in a video or something. Not, I could search it up on the internet, try and find one that's about right. And it's, but all the best ones tend to be stock footage from stock libraries. I don't have an account with that stock library. I don't really want to pay, but I don't want to put up the example with the kind of watermark across it, blah, blah, blah. I can go to Midjourney and explain, right, I want a picture of friends eating and enjoying themselves. Boom. And then I can put that in my video. As an example, without using stock footage. So I do that. When I'm doing my YouTube descriptions, I make a YouTube video and I think, oh, what am I going to write in the description? Oh, I can't be bothered. So I take the title, I go to ChatGPT. You are a YouTube expert in YouTube SEO. Give me a YouTube description based on a YouTube called this. And it writes me a little description. Okay, give me some YouTube game... I'm telling everybody the secrets here, how it works. Give me some YouTube tags for a video. You're an SEO expert. Give me some tags I can put in as tags in my YouTube because I can't be bothered to write them all out. Gives me a list. I go, that's no good to me. I don't want bullet point lists. Give it to me with commas, please. Separating the tags. They do it. Thank you. Stick that into the YouTube tags. Boom. Saves so much time. I got it to help me write the code to render a Blender scene on Google Colab. Interesting. I did ask it to write some code just out of curiosity. No, I don't know what to do with the code, but yeah. Like, so for instance, this highlight chat, I was wondering whether I could write my own. I mean, I don't know anything about coding, but I did see somebody who knew nothing about coding write some code for a little game he created. Not knowing how to code, he created a little platform game. Yeah, with a little character that jumps. And he created the graphics in Midjourney. Little sort of 2D platforming game. And he got ChatGPT to write the game in a combination of Java and Python, whatever. It's amazing. Redfall. Exactly, Lugo. It is. I'm looking forward to Redfall, despite all the kind of, criticism around the early footage. I think, it looks okay to me. I don't really, but I'm not like a big, particularly fussy judge of gameplay. As long as it plays and is smooth and not chunky and feels natural and your X and Y aren't too wild so you get motion sickness, because as you get older, I suffer from that. Playing Call of the Sea was a bit... Not that it's an FPS, but it's because you're travelling around. I also get it with like... what was the moon? Take Us to the Moon. Oh, I forget what it's called now. Anyway, the one they did, the Mars one. What was it called? Oh, brain's gone dead. Never mind. The sequel was the Mars one, and the first one was the Moon. The first one was from Windmill Games. Oh. It will come to me in a minute. I'm sure, chat, you'll enlighten me because you're bright like that. Ladies and gentlemen. Right. Now, one thing I know a lot of you are... Okay, before I go to that one, for the environmentally... before I go on that, yes, exactly. Arcane doesn't really make bad games. Exactly. Thank you, Sednar. Brain went completely dead. Deliver Us the Moon. Yeah. I found that a bit floaty. I know it was gravity free. And then once you got where you didn't know, where you literally were floating through the sort of space station, I got disorientated. I didn't know when I was upside down which was the point, I guess, because you're sort of in a gravity situation, and when you don't know where up is up and down is down. But anyway, right, ladies and gentlemen, for the environmentally concerned of yours, which I hope, of course, you all are, ladies and gentlemen, look at this fine fella, and it's green as well. I'm tempted. Just because of the colours. What is it, Clive? The new Xbox Wireless Controller Remix Special Edition is made partly from reclaimed CDs, water jugs. Reclaimed water jugs? Is that a big thing? Plastic water jugs? What do they... Do they mean like just water bottles? Big water bottles? Is that what they mean? Like you get in the office and the guy and the woman comes around, puts them in the drinks thing for your fresh water. Do you remember those giant jugs? Is that what they mean? Water jugs? Anyway, and other controllers' parts. Now, you see, to me, if they were melted down old controllers, I mean, in fairness, a few of us have got some old controllers. And that doesn't include the ones that are still in the boxes. Unopened. Lol. Oh no, I'm going to put them in the wrong order now. I don't know which ones are... Okay. There we go. Which one's configured to my game? But anyway, the new Xbox Wireless Controller Remix Special Edition made partly from reclaimed CDs, water jugs, and other controller parts. We aspire to create a future of gaming in a world that we want to play in. Earth Day is just around the corner, so it provides us with a special opportunity to reflect on how we can improve the impact on the planet. So, we've created an Xbox controller that features recovered plastics, with 1/3 of it made from regrind and reclaimed materials. Mixing post-consumer recycled resins and regrind consistency of previously moulded coloured parts creates custom earth tone colours with subtle variations, swirlings, markings and texturing, giving each Remix Special Edition controller a look of its own. So it has slightly, let's have a look and see if we can see it here. Each one has its own slight different textures. Let's have a look. Round the back. Oh, I see here. So arguably these swirls here at the back, every controller therefore, I love the colour. I love this. The monochrome colour going on here. But presumably those swirls then are unique to each controller. I love that look there. I'm sorely tempted, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little bit tempted. I'm a little bit tempted with that. Let me know what you think in the chat. Do I need another Xbox Series X controller? No. Do I need some sort of display unit for my various controllers that I could put on display, then at least validate the reason I've got so many controllers? Yes. My son came down and said, was saying he nicked one of my controllers because his battery had run out on his, which annoyed me because it's geared and set up for one particular thing. And I have them laid out in my living room. And I've got like 3 in a row. I've got one old Xbox controller and then 2 new Xbox controllers. And they're all beautifully lined up because I'm a bit OCD on my, in the living room, ready. And he says, why have you got 2? In fact, why? He says, why the hell do you have 3 controllers there? And I said to him, well, son, one of them, is for the Xbox Series X. One of them I've configured to the LG TV. And one of them I've configured to my Chromecast with Google TV. because I don't like reconfiguring each time. So I have one for each device on the TV, one for the Xbox Series X, one for the LG, and one for the Chromecast with Google TV. And now, son, you've messed it all up because you've reconfigured that one for your own Xbox upstairs. Oh, messing with me OCD. Get out of my room. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm liking the look of it. I'm tempted. $84. Is it available? So pre-order. Pre-order. 75 quid. Okay. I've got some money coming in. Maybe treat myself. A job well done. I'm doing some extra. Yeah, I'm earning a little bit of extra money for something, so that's good. But anyway, let us have a look. Where we are before we get so interesting. We're coming to some of this conversation here. It's lovely to see everybody live in the chat. Is it the Easter holiday bounce? I hope this continues, ladies and gentlemen, because it's lovely to be able to have this conversation with people in the chat and with so many people. When people are in the chat, when you guys are responding, you're getting in there, it brings the show alive, ladies and gentlemen, and makes it all worthwhile. It's nothing. The Xbox Monday Night Chat is nothing without you, ladies and gentlemen, and I, for one, appreciate that. Do you think we will have the Xbox PC games on cloud before the Xbox Showcase? Ooh. I would like to think so. Are you referring to the GeForce Now and Boosteroid deals? Because, unless plans have changed somewhat, I think the idea was for them to start. I think many of us, including maybe people at GeForce Now, assumed that some of the games would have started rolling out already. And I guess the same for Boosteroid. Now, unless Xbox PC are trying to develop a very specific app to function with GeForce Now and Boosteroid, and therefore that's what's taking their time, and they want a collection of games to be ready to go. But our understanding is those Xbox PC games that were already on Steam would be the first lot to roll out. So I can't see whether there's requirement for an Xbox PC app unless that's what they're doing. So yes, I'd like to think. Do I think? Yeah, I'd like to think we get it before the showcase. Partly bothers me what exactly. Well, that's always the thing with recycled things, isn't it? You know, how much stuff is actually, recycled stuff actually used. It's also like, there's a big myth. I don't want to get too political, but there's a big myth about recycling. So the recycling brand, which was like a triangle of green arrows pointing to each other, was invented in like early 70s and was meant to symbolize things that were totally recyclable. But then it became adapted to anything that vaguely was partially recyclable. And so you get companies who just stick it on the back of their packs. And actually, like Tetra Packs, stuff that milk, cartons come in. And actually, there's not many places where that is recyclable. Plastic bottles, only really clear plastic bottles tend to be recyclable. So there's a bit of a con on just sticking this is recyclable on things when actually, where is it recyclable? Not many local authorities have the facilities to recycle that much stuff that we've got. Your plastic bottles, your tins, but your plastic trays, like my local authority, they don't do the plastic food trays. They do plastic bottles, but not the plastic food trays. They don't do the Tetra Packs. Yeah, so it is, exactly. How much and what percentage is genuinely recycled and is used to make it? The kicker to what I did using ChatGPT is now I don't have to rush for a purchase of new GPU, which pleases me because the new Omniverse Studio Ada architecture workstations launch next month. Indeed, they do, sir. There is. I've also applied for another AI thing, and it's Wonder Studio, which looks amazing, and it's going to make things like motion capture available to like everybody, really. I saw a demonstration of it, and immediately I put in my application for access to the beta version. If it happens, there will be a video on it, no doubt about it. My Stadia controller is still my go-to. It certainly is for when I'm sitting here. It sits up here, and I use it when I'm gaming on my PC on Boosteroid or GeForce Now. It is my go-to for those. When it works with Boosteroid, it's not been working recently. In fact, none of my controllers have, which is a bit disappointing. But for GeForce Now, yeah, absolutely, it's my go-to. It works a dream. I love it. When I'm on the Xbox Series X or the LG over there, it's the Xbox controllers. Yeah, Kirk says it would be funny if it was made for PlayStation parts. The irony. Yeah, Stadia controller. Stadia died so Xbox controllers could live on. Exactly. Yes to all of the above. Yeah, buying an environment, it will get used. It will get used. It's just the other ones won't. I do the same. I have one controller with everything. Lime green for GFN, black for Series X, white for Series S, ooh, and a purple custom one. Of course you've got a purple custom one. My son's got a lovely, of the old one, a lovely custom one that he made. It's super, really cool. When I play with someone else locally. That's good. Yeah, so I've got, in my bedroom, ladies, I've got my black Stadia controller, so I could play when I play GeForce Now on my big TV in my bedroom. I've got a controller there, so I'm making use of the controllers. Absolutely. Right, ladies and gentlemen. One final thing. Oh no, before there is a final thing, but quickly. Yep, just checking the date. Microsoft welcomes the CMA, cancel, U-Turn on the Activision deal. And Sony decries irrational. It's an irrational decision. Meanwhile, university professor tells UK regulator cloud gaming is not a distinct market. Now, those that were here on Thursday, yes, will know some of this because it was very, very interesting that the university professor made a very interesting point about cloud gaming, which I'd never considered before, but it was a well-made point. And the point was derived from, basically, we've talked about the CMA in the UK, the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK, have basically now taken on board all the comments, all the input from different industry people, from Xbox, from Sony, everybody, and they've said they are clear now. They have now, the UK regulators now published responses from the two platform holders, Sony and Xbox, with Microsoft welcoming the addendum to the original provisional findings. So, Microsoft has been... Let's go back here. We'll go back here. The CMA said last month that making Activision games, including Call of Duty, exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem would be significantly loss-making under any plausible scenario. So, exactly as I've said on this show, week in, week out, it makes no sense for Microsoft to make Call of Duty exclusive because it is an established title that sells bucket loads on PlayStation, and making it exclusive would not give enough benefit to Xbox to make up for the loss of sales they would make by it not being on PlayStation. It makes no sense whatsoever. Microsoft has said that. That's why they're saying it's no skin off our nose to offer Sony a 10-year deal, blah, blah, blah. And the CMA basically is saying now the exactly same. It would be loss-making under any plausible scenario for Microsoft. So we're not worried. So the UK Competition and Markets Authority is saying we're not worried that somehow Call of Duty will be made exclusive by Xbox. So that concern that we had has been assuaged. Yeah? Assuaged. Microsoft has been clear since, and then Microsoft have basically said, we've been clear since the announcement of the merger. It has no intention to withhold or degrade access to Call of Duty to any other Activision content on PlayStation. Such a strategy would be in direct contrast to the interest of gamers in the UK and around the world, rather than limit choice or access. Microsoft intends to use the merger to bring more games to more people on more platforms and devices. Sony respectively submits that the addendum does not justify the CMA's U-turn on the console's theory of harm. Of course they do. Yeah? It added that the addendum's discussion about whether Microsoft would withhold games is based on pure speculation rather than evidence. So Sony go on to say, to reach a robust decision, the CMA should look at it again, revisit your analysis of Microsoft's incentives and partial foreclosure, correcting for the errors identified in this paper, said Sony. Anyway, so to recap, so they're still outstanding. So basically, CMA go, we're not concerned about that, right? We're not concerned. Originally, our concern was the damage to the market and to the gamer and to choice if Xbox made Call of Duty exclusive. We now realize and accept that to do such a thing is ridiculous and would damage Xbox and Microsoft. So that is not a concern to the UK CMA anymore. Cloud gaming is still an outstanding issue to them. There's something they're still looking into. So it's still an area of doubt exists over the deal because of the cloud gaming being a nascent market and the dominance that Xbox might have in cloud gaming by having all the Activision Blizzard titles exclusive to cloud gaming, etc. So that is still a concern to the CMA. Now, this professor of Associate Professor of Strategy and Entrepreneurship at the University College of London has observed that there is significant ambiguity as to what exactly cloud gaming is. Now, this is the interesting point. If you assume that cloud gaming is a distinct market, you can kind of understand, okay, this is a new market and it would be in its early stages, and therefore Xbox having all these big games would be a threat to competition within this new burgeoning market. But the professor argues that cloud gaming is not a distinct market, but instead refers to 4 types of gaming service that each rely on cloud streaming technology. So the cloud streaming technology is the market, yeah, is the business, the new business that's happening, yeah. That is where competition could be at threat if one company had dominance over the streaming technology, yeah. So that's the key thing. So he's saying that cloud gaming, not cloud streaming technology, but cloud gaming in itself is not a distinct market. He currently says there are 4 types of gaming service. Cloud gaming is a feature as seen on Xbox Gamepass. So you get Game Pass, you can play your games on console, you play games on PC, or you can play them in the cloud. It's an added feature. Yeah. So that is one example of cloud gaming that uses cloud streaming technology. The second version is cloud gaming as a complement, such as NVIDIA's GeForce Now and Boosteroid. So it's not its own standalone platform. It is merely a glorified PC in the sky, as it were, that allows you to play your existing games, your existing PC games, but on a virtual computer, effectively. So it's slightly different. Cloud gaming is an input, such as Ubiquitous and GameStream. Not entirely sure what it means by that, unless, of course, he's referring to, the ability to play games on Switch using the streaming technology. But again, very different. And cloud gaming is a platform with examples including Amazon Luna and Blacknut, and of course, what was, God rest its soul, Stadia. Yeah, so Stadia was its own platform. Luna is its own platform, arguably. They have to tweak the games. The finished versions of the games that are on Luna will only work on Luna. And absolutely, 100%, that's how it was on Stadia. We all know that nightmare that was. The games had to be ported. There was difficulty porting them. So it was a standalone platform. So basically, what he's saying is there is not a distinct cloud gaming market per se. It's not like they're all cloud gaming platforms, like Stadia. If you had a Luna, a Stadia, Xbox Cloud, in which games had to be ported especially for it, and they were all standalone platforms, that would be a market, yeah? If they were all standalone platforms in the same way, PlayStation is a console and Xbox is a console and Nintendo, Switch is a console. Yeah, there is a console market. They're basically devices in which you play the games on. Whereas here, we're saying that cloud gaming are merely features. One is an additional feature to Game Pass. One is a glorified way of playing your PC games, and one is a platform, and one is a driver of games to existing platforms like Switch and stuff like that. So, in conclusion, consumers' willingness to pay for standalone cloud gaming services apparently is low. We know that, ladies and gentlemen, we know that. And this is perhaps the strongest indication that cloud gaming should not be considered a distinct market. Cloud streaming is potentially a promising distribution method that will very likely continue to be used and relied upon to various extents, at different degrees, by different companies with different offerings aimed at a diverse set of customers that can be both end users and business-to-business customers. It behooves the CMA and other agencies to view it as such. So basically, what he's saying is, if the CMA is concerned about the impact on the cloud gaming market, then it is basically misjudged in viewing it as a distinct market. It is erroneous for the CMA to see cloud gaming as a distinct market because it is not a distinct market. And therefore, they're kind of looking at it at the wrong angle. And ergo, Xbox Gamepass being a dominant, having all these big games, is not a threat to something which is not a distinct market. Yeah? If it was a distinct market, arguably there could be a threat. But cloud gaming is not a distinct market. If somehow Activision Blizzard had some whizzy amazing streaming technology, which was far above everybody else, or, a set of servers. I know Microsoft have Azure, but we know they have those servers. But I don't know, were like Google had Google Cloud server. They were Google. Yeah, imagine they were Google or a massive server company. Yeah, then that might be an impact. They bought up the servers, a company that supplied cloud offerings to Southeast Asia or something like that, and they bought that company. Then that might be, a threat. Because that's the streaming technology. It's not the platforms, as it were. So it's just quite an interesting interesting perspective, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate everybody being here today. Do you know, I thought I'd be lucky to squeeze an hour out of this, but we've gone over time. And then the reason is, and I don't blame you, I want to thank you, appreciate there's so many people in today. I tell you what, you guys make me feel good. I'm having a good Monday, and it's thanks to you guys. Right, now, one last thing. I know a lot of you were concerned about this. Let me just hide it for comic effect. Now, there is a new edition coming to Xbox Gamepass. And look, I know out there's a lot of you going to be loving this, ladies and gentlemen. Track Construction Railway Empire 2. We can add another addition to Xbox Game Pass in 2023 list. Railway Empire 2 for your rail nerds. Yeah, who's the guy with the GoPro on top of his head? And he goes, so today I'm at Hemel Hempstead and I'm waiting for the R5321 to come through. You know what I mean? Anyway, he's going to love it. He's going to love it. Can't read the text now. Railway Empire 2, you'll take over a small railway company in the early 1800s and turn your steam engines into workhorses of the economy. It'll be your job to build the perfect rail network and outsmart your competitors to become the largest railway company of the continent. If you're interested in the 5-chapter campaign, you can choose to tackle one of 14 different scenarios, or just settle for free play mode and or construction mode. Plus, there's co-op multiplayer. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to Game Pass. It's the game that you all want. I know it is. I know it is. The game you all want is coming to Game Pass. There was a crazy stat of how many players are playing Microsoft games on PlayStation. Something like 35% Minecraft and COD. It would not surprise me because obviously they sell more consoles. So, yeah. Hey! Geek the Sneak. He's loving it. I think he means market input, i.e. something that improves the volume of the bubble and therefore the surface area of the market, meaning it improves the chances of interfacing customers. Try saying that in normal English. You need a lesson in simple English, Internet of Games. I know what you mean. But yeah, what it breaks down to is that at the moment there is the technology, but there isn't a distinct market. There isn't just one market. The cloud streaming technology is being used by different companies in different ways. But you cannot put those different ways. It's like an egg, yeah? And you can make an omelette because people want omelettes. You make scrambled egg because people want scrambled egg. Make fried eggs because people like fried eggs. And you have poached eggs, yeah? But there's not an egg market. There's a scrambled eggs market. There's an omelette market. There's a poached egg market. There's a fried egg market. But there's not one market. That makes sense. They're distinct markets, but they all use the egg. Now, if any one company has dominion over the egg, yeah, then that would be a threat to competition. But at the moment, there isn't one dominant egg recipe for there to be any dominance over. Does that analogy work? I made it up on the spot. I kind of think it does. I kind of think it does. I was born in Hemel Hempstead. It's the first... it just came to my mind. Yeah, the first station type thing, you know. I love how Clive Controller and makes fun of the train nerds. I'm not making fun. I am making fun of the train nerds. It's funny. Like, the guy is so popular. Not the train station, though. Oh, yes. You were found in a handbag. And you lectured me on plain English. There we are. I went into egg mode, you see. I'd simplified it. I made pictorial a pictorial imagery for you, yeah? An allegory for you there. And it kind of made sense. Right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. As ever, show was fire tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. This is what these shows are all about. It's about having this kind of interactive chat, is responding to chat and stuff like that, and talking about the games and Xbox and stuff like that. And so I appreciate it. I really, really do. I hope you have a rest of if you are having your Monday off because it's Easter, I hope you have a good time. If not, let us do this all again, same time, same place next week. And I would be absolutely delighted and honoured if you could oblige yourself to visit me on the GeForce Now Thursday chat, where it is just as buzzy and exciting and eclectic as here on Thursday at 10 p.m. UK. Make a date. Whatever you're doing, stop what you're watching at 10 o'clock. Make sure you're watching my show. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I shall see you hopefully later this week. If not, same time, same place next week. Jenny! Goodbye.